So it's day 11 on the 5th of August of the 2020 harvest, and I wanted to just come and have a look at this spring barley. This is one of the huge dilemmas of the year. Because it was so dry in May, a lot of these crops were getting very stressed, and the main tillers were dying, and the plants were sort of shedding secondary tillers and sort of killing them off really. Then it started raining in June, and the plants kind of thought, oh, actually it's rained again now, so perhaps we can actually get these tillers to harvest. So as we approached kind of middle of July, these fields were getting riper and greener all at the same time, which is a really odd thing, and I've never seen it before, and talking to friends and colleagues, this is quite a new phenomenon. So we had in the same field and almost on the same plant barley that was ready to harvest and necking over and potentially going to brackle, which is the sort of the neckling that barley does, and drop on the floor. And the same plant next to it was green as grass, and actually in some cases was flowering. Well, the dilemma then is, do we harvest the crop then and save those first tillers, or do we wait, risk losing those, and wait for those secondary tillers to become ready? So the decision I took 2 weeks ago was to spray the field off with glyphosate, and that is it's perfectly fine, perfectly legal. We try not to do that, but it's been the only way to try and even these crops up and get them somewhere near a suitable harvesting position. As you can see it, looking at my hand here, we've got ripe grains and we've got very, very green grains, and the risk is that in store these will heat up, it'll affect the germination, and could well then sort of start to rot if not looked after properly. So what we're actually doing is spreading it out fairly thinly in one of the small bunkers, switching the fans on with a view to trying to blow some air through this to sort of condition it, and allow some of the moisture potentially to move from those green grains into the dry grains. The dry grains are about 12% moisture, the green ones are well over 30. So if we leave this in here for a few days with air blowing through it, hopefully that will average itself out, and then we will see what sort of average we have as to then what we do with it. But it's a real challenge, and it's something that nobody really knows the right solution for. So this is what we're doing. Hopefully it will pan out to be okay, but the best thing for it is to keep air going through it so that we can stop it from heating up too much, and then we'll deal with it in the dryer at some point later on. So yeah, so this is where we are. There has been an awful lot of ladybirds around this year. I did just see one there which is gone. There it is, which is great to see. There's quite a few weeds in the crops, partly again because herbicides that were applied early in the growing season didn't really work because it was so dry, and then as the rain appeared, that got more of the weeds on the surface to sort of germinate, and that's caused a few combining issues as well in a few patches here and there. But yeah, that's where we are. Well, we'll see how we get on really. Got about 300 hectares of spring barley looking at us. So the forecast is pretty good, I think, to the beginning of next week. So we'll keep pushing on, I think, and see where it goes.